Hi, Tri-C faculty members. This is John Kersey on August the 4th, 2014, providing you with some information on the fourth LMS review session that we've had on Remote Learner. Taylor and Tabitha were the two presenters on Remote Learner today. Kind of an interesting group, a little bit different than the first three that we saw. Some good things, some bad things, but here's a quick review. First off, lots of rubrics and tools built into the system, easy for students to use and to see. Like some of the other LMS systems, student badges, awards for students when they achieve certain proficiencies, which people are telling us actually helps improve. Very adaptable for mobile devices. The presenters made the point that you could actually take a quiz on a cell phone or a smartphone with Remote Learner. Not saying that's better or worse, but I'm just saying it's there. It's easy to create folders for messages from students by class and by individual students, so very simple to keep track of things. A couple of other advantages they talked about is this whole concept of revertible lessons. You could give a lesson for a student with 8 or 9 or 10 questions, for example, and if they get less than 60%, that forces them to go back, retake that lesson to master the material. So that would certainly be good for some classes. Also the concept of social constructiveness, the idea of actually trying to have students work together on projects. They used an example of a glossary where students would get credit for adding key terms from a course into a glossary that they would work on together, which we thought was pretty good. But by and large, one thing we do want to point out about Remote Learner, it's kind of a plain vanilla learning management system. They're relying very heavily on what I previously had identified as LTI, or Learner Technology Interoperability for their system. So you basically get the main system and then you have to have add-ons. And that's good and bad. The problem with the add-ons, of course, is that there are changes in browsers or updates in software. All of the LTI things better be compliant with the changes as well, or else you might have some problems. Seems very functionality, fairly simple. Lots of templates. You can turn on or lock down things. You're able to actually send messages to students and communicate with them in maybe a more individualized way. Very good with browser upgrades. They allow us to make the decision about when we flip a switch to add something new, so we all thought that was pretty positive as well. They are Virginia-based, but they're in like 200 countries around the world, and they're considered to be the biggest LMS system. They showed us something like, I don't know, 79 or 80,000 different school districts, colleges, universities around the world that are using Remote Learner. So that was it about that. One more to go for the fifth and final one, which is Moodle Rooms, and then after Moodle Rooms, we're actually going to be moving into the next phase of the LMS task force.